Yeah. Okay. Everyone, this is Jim with FormerlyME and FormerlyME.com. I'm here with Angelo. Angelo is the owner of O3zone, which we're going to do some sessions with that today. He's going to give us a lot of information about what that is and the science behind it. But it's actually housed here at Hidden Gym here in the north part of Dallas, the Dallas area.
That's right. That's right.
And so
Allen, Texas.
Allen, Texas. So the website hiddengym.net. We're going to take a real quick walk around the Hidden Gym. He's going to talk me through what's all going on in here. So let's go check it out.
Welcome. So this is Hidden Gym.
All right.
This is our cardio area.
Okay.
As you see, we have a 30-yard turf field.
Okay.
There's a lot of ball players that will come in here and train during the summer months, from the NFL, college to high school. We have one of the top high schools in the country just down the street. My cousin is over all the boxing. He's a former super middleweight champion. Had to retire. Now he trains UFC and other boxers.
Excellent.
As well as the general public.
Okay.
So over here, Greg, the owner of Hidden Gym, he's very well known in the bodybuilding industry.
Okay.
And so his passion was to bring bodybuilding back over here. We have some of the top influencers that'll come here and shoot their videos, as well as bodybuilders, the who's who in the fitness game. So they'll come over, work out, shoot their videos. As you see, we have a lot of powerlifting over here. We have powerlifting tournaments that come through. We try to be welcoming to all the different aspects of weight, fitness, you name it. So that's about the short of it.
Okay, so y'all got definitely a lot of equipment here. Pretty good size cardio section. I see you got a boxing ring down here. So is the trainer here that does all the boxing? Can we do a quick meet? Let's go see a former MMA fighter. I always like watching MMA.
He's a former professional boxer.
Professional boxer. Oh, okay, correct. I stand corrected. All right. So we're just gonna walk right through this class.
That's actually one of the top bodybuilders in the world. He comes and trains here.
Okay.
This is my cousin Tony Mack.
So, as introduced right on the video.
You're on live.
Well, it's not live. It's, we can edit. Okay.
He supposed to come train with me yesterday.
Slacking.
So this is a guy. He trains the UFC as well as other boxers and the general public. Like I was saying, I'll let you talk to him a little bit.
So real quick, for people that are watching this that might be interested in training and learning either MMA or boxing, what are like the top 3 tips you can tell someone to get them prepared for it? Because like for me, when I started it over a year ago with my body transformation, there was a lot of things that, consistency, a lot of words that I had to learn really quickly because it doesn't happen overnight.
Come in with an open mind.
Okay.
Don't come in thinking you know everything. Come in, be willing to learn. And it's
be a sponge.
Be a sponge. Especially with boxing, it's one of the best conditions you can ever have. So you're not going to go right in and just know everything. Most people are like, oh crap, I didn't think it was this hard. I didn't think it was this hard. But just to come in, want to learn and be willing to put in work. So
I mean, it's just not about how hard you can throw your fist. It's footwork. I learned this footwork's like the basis of everything.
Here we focus on the true principle of boxing, how and why of boxing. So we teach on the reason why you throw a jab the right way, the reason why you throw that straight right the right way, the reason why you slip a punch. We show that, we teach that how and why. Then the condition is a must. If you're not in condition, you can't box.
Yeah.
So you got to get in shape, and like boxing condition is pretty hard.
Yeah.
You mix in the HIIT training, because HIIT training get the heart rate going.
There was a YouTube video of a guy that I guess set the Guinness World Record for most punches thrown in a certain amount of time. I forget the time he did it in, but he just looked like he was just dead exhausted. Even during it, he reached a point where you could tell he was fatiguing. I mean, what is the average number of punches someone should be able to throw in, let's say, a minute, 5 minutes, like the average time of a fight?
Man, that's tough, but recently, Mayweather did something. He was like, I saw a video around like every time Mayweather, he threw like 1,000 punches in a minute or something. It was something weird.
Yeah.
Like I never just counted my punches like at speed, but Mayweather did something like 1,000.
Wow.
Something like that, and every time he did it, like 1,000 a minute, they'll throw $100 in the air. He's just money Mayweather.
I'll have to look for that video and link it.
It's a dope, pretty video, but yeah, man, conditioning is the key in boxing.
Conditioning.
You can't be, if you're not in condition, you can't box. So we work hand in hand. Technique is the key, conditioning is the key, and that's what we do here.
How can people find out more about you? You have social media, website, Instagram?
T Mac Elite Training is the Instagram. T Mac Elite Training is Facebook. T Mac Elite Training is also the Twitter.
All right, and I'll make sure I'll put the links in our description of this video. Well, thank you so much. It was good to meet you.
Homie.
All right.
I appreciate it. Just got me on spot.
All right. All right, so we're gonna
back to Ozone.
we're going back to O3zone. So it's O3zone, right?
O3zone,
O3zone.
Sauna Therapy Service, Dallas.
All right, so we're gonna have that link in the description as well. So I'm about to try some ozone treatments. What would you classify it as? Ozone therapy treatment?
Ozone therapy. It's basically oxygen, super oxygenated treatment.
Okay.
But you're also going to be doing Bemer. We talked about Bemer.
Bemer. Okay, so we're doing two treatments.
Yeah. Bemer is a pulse electromagnetic field.
Okay.
That opens up your microcirculatory system.
Now there's a sign for it, which we'll get on video here. So 2 treatment sessions we're about to do. So we're gonna take you along for that. All right, so Angelo's gonna have me do the Bemer therapy first, where I'm gonna be sitting in this chair. Explain to me what was going to be happening to me while I'm in this chair.
Okay, first of all, Bemer is what's called a pulse electromagnetic field. Okay. What that does, the high level, is it opens up your microcirculatory system. The microcirculatory system is the smallest of the vessels, capillaries, all
Capillaries,
that.
yeah. Okay.
But it's the largest system in the human body.
Got it.
Okay.
So that's what makes us look like tree roots. Right?
Yes, exactly. And so it's going to open up that, increases the blood flow, as you see up here. General blood flow, nutrition and oxygen supply to the heart and lungs, cardiac function, sleep management. A lot of people, the first thing they tell me is that, man, my sleep was fantastic last night. Okay. Waste disposal, so it's getting the waste out of your system faster. Okay. Physical fitness, the recovery time for athletes is amazing. It's phenomenal for your physical fitness, the recovery, and then the healing aspect if you have injuries. Endurance. We've had athletes talk about how they break through these barriers, these walls they've had. They smash through those. Concentration, muscle stimulation, stress reduction, and relaxation.
So for, let's say, the average person that maybe is dealing with like joint pains and aches, how many sessions of this would you recommend on like a monthly basis? Is it like once a week, twice a week, or just once a month is good enough? Well, how long does this last when someone has a session?
For purposes of this facility, we recommend twice a week because you generally get a benefit pretty much immediately. It's not a magic bullet, but most people find that they have relief pretty immediate.
And how long does that last?
The results of the Bemer last anywhere from 12 to 14 hours.
Yeah.
If you do it on a regular basis, again, like twice a week, it's going to keep whatever at bay.
Keep going.
Yeah.
And then for, let's say, a high-performing athlete, they would obviously probably have a more than probably twice a week if they're at a high performance.
And this is what happens whether they're a young and virile athlete or they're an older individual. As a matter of fact, a lot of older individuals will purchase this because because you can do it twice a day, every day. Okay.
I
do. So I do twice a day.
You're twice a day. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Well, let's get in the chair and see how this goes. Okay, so I'm in the chair. We're going to target particularly the left arm elbow, where I've had, a couple months ago, I had tendonitis issues. I always use the new fit machine at Legacy Barbell. So I want to see how this compares to that, because I usually do a elbow session once a month with the new fit machine. So I'm going to focus on that. The chair has coils, I'm told, so it's going to basically affect my whole body, but I'm not going to feel anything, right?
You may feel a little bit of tingling in your extremities. It just depends on the individual, your blood flow. So I'm turning on the mat now.
The mat, okay.
And then I'll tell you, I'm getting ready to turn that one on. Now we got your pad for the arm. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Oh, everything's on right now?
Everything's on.
I don't feel a thing. So, at least for me.
Some people are like, I don't feel anything. What's happening, right? So, that's the
frequency.
Signal. It's the signal that's coming up through, okay? And it also depends on the density of your body, how far out it comes. So,
I mean, obviously I'm more dense here in the chest, but yeah, I hear your signal thing. So if you can hear the beeping, that's from this device that's detecting the frequency. And so, what is the frequency? You showed me on a document earlier that certain devices are operating at a certain frequency, but this one operates at a higher one?
Yes. Hold on 1 second. Just picking up everything now. So, there are a lot of PEMF devices out there. Mm-hmm. Their signals, here, let me do this. Their signals are at a 300 stimulations a second.
300 stimulations a second. So
Yes.
that's the average PEF.
That's for the average one that's out there, and this is a study that was done by an independent party.
Okay. And so for the
For
Bemer, how many a second are a
Bemer
second?
is 1,200 as opposed to 300.
A second.
Yes.
So I'm having 1,200 pulses of signal sent through my body.
Yes. And their signal is the one that actually does all the work. That's why it's proprietary.
Got it.
Okay. So as I mentioned earlier, NASA is teaming up or has teamed up with Bemer. They're going to be putting this technology in the astronauts. I believe it's their undergarments that go in the spacesuits.
Oh, so
Okay.
actually going to put this in the spacesuit, the coils and the...
Right.
Wow.
Right now they're working on how to do that, the design and everything, because it counters those side effects that they experience in outer space.
Yeah.
Okay. And simply put, this really matches the Earth's gravitational field. A lot of people don't know that is just as important for our life as food and water.
Wow.
So that's what it does. And I don't know if you've heard of grounding.
No, I haven't.
Oh, you were listening.
Grounding is just basically when your feet touch the earth,
Okay.
we release those negative ions, right?
Oh, well, a
And
lot of us never put our feet on real ground.
we always have rubber
on
in
the
between,
feet.
right?
Yeah.
Our tennis shoes. So this helps with that as well.
Oh, okay.
Very beneficial for our health and well-being. We don't realize how much we're missing out on when we don't ground on a regular basis.
Now you mentioned athletes and such. I think you once when you first told me about it, there's like even beauty, like Miss America contestants, or
Yeah.
So what are some of the people that have tried this that basically have given it its thumbs up?
So
Let's do some name dropping now.
I have UFC fighters, one in particular because he's a local guy. His name is Stephen Ocho Peterson.
Okay.
He fights in the UFC. He's known, he has one of the rare reverse hammer fist knockouts.
Oh, okay.
He will come in here and get Bemer and Ozone from me, preparing for fights. We've had football players, numerous football players, New England Patriots, Kansas City Chiefs, running back. Let's see, models. I'm trying to. You think?
I mean, obviously for the UFC fighters, any stamina and endurance that they can gain, and obviously recovery in general. But if they're
Yes.
doing it before a fight, is to increase that stamina and endurance, because when you're in that ring, you can get exhausted really quick. I mean,
Yeah, and just like Tony was talking about, your conditioning is key when it comes to boxing and MMA. Boxing is really on another level, but
Yes.
this helps with that conditioning aspect. As I mentioned earlier, I had another MMA fighter, and he was like, this helped him break through his threshold. Like when he would run, he knew where his sticking point was, and then this helped him smash through that. So,
now I'm going to say something that might be weird. I feel a little bit uptick in my energy level.
right.
Okay, so I just now noticed that. So
I try not to influence people.
Yeah, but I just now noticed it because I just I just drove from the Woodlands up to Dallas today.
Right.
So I was a little tired. I left at 6 in the morning, and so I'm not a coffee drinker, but I just got here, and now I'm starting to feel a little uptick in my energy, and it's very noticeable.
Right.
And so
And I showed
don't
you-
feel any other sensations, but I do notice that. Anyway, I'm now.
It's very subtle.
Yeah.
Again, and this will come on. It'll actually come on stronger throughout the day, and
Got it.
especially when you add the ozone, which is that super oxygenated
Okay.
process, right?
So for those watching this video, I definitely am feeling alert. Because I probably came here, I was probably at a 70% is when I would gauge myself, but now I'm at about 90 right now. So I was like, hey, as he was talking to me, I had to stop and say, wait a minute, I'm starting to feel a little bit more energy. So okay, continue. I'm sorry to interrupt, but
No, that's
I wanted that to make sure that
That's
was
great.
captured
That's
on the
fantastic.
video, because I'm like, wait a minute, even though I'm not feeling any sensation from the chair, because I was like, I was kind of just relaxed in the chair, but now I'm not relaxed, I'm actually alert.
Right,
So,
right.
yeah, that's pretty
And as
cool.
it talked about, the concentration, right? And then all of this, that general blood flow, that I showed you the video of the blood before and then during, and how much faster.
So
it
that
flows.
right now is what's probably happening to me right now.
That's what's starting to
The blood
happen.
flow is happening
Yeah.
faster.
Oh, one of the other celebrities is Kristin Pavlos. She is Mrs. USA Universal, former Mrs. USA Universal. We have a lot of different people that come through here,
Yeah.
so it just,
It's not just boxers or just MMA. It could be an
No.
athlete. It could be even high school athletes, college athletes. It could just
Exactly.
be someone looking to just get rid of aches, pains, and etc. It's kind of like what I was
And
looking
I'm
for.
very fortunate because this facility houses a lot of private trainers. So for me, word of mouth has been very beneficial. They recommend their clients to me after they've done it because they see the benefits from it. I would like to introduce you to, he's actually my lifting coach. He's a world champion power lifter and record holder, and he's been telling his clients about this not just for the energy, but also skin conditions. So Ozone is a major asset in that.
Now, I've been doing a lot of the New Fit sessions, which is the newbie device, and it's a company based in Austin, Texas.
Okay.
And they've been, making a lot of headway with rehabilitation recovery as well.
Yes.
Are you familiar with that technology, and how would that compare? Because it's not necessarily a TENS unit, because I think from what I recollect, it's DC current instead of AC current or something like that. But it's well, from what I'm told from the guy that does the sessions at Legacy Barbell, it's not a TENS unit. And so I just know that when I was having tendonitis and he did a session on my forearms, it immediately cured my tendonitis, and that's why every month I do one session just for elbows, just to never feel that tendonitis pain again.
Right.
Now I still have aches, like if I'm overworking or doing a lot of reps, because I do about 100 plus curls, when I do my curls in a week, and I'll start to get normal aches and fatigue.
Okay.
And that's usually elbow that'll start fatiguing first over the right, so that's why we're particularly focused on that. I'm going to be able to know myself the immediate differences between the two. But have you tried the New Fit system?
No, and I don't know enough about it to speak on it.
No worries.
Okay, but I do know with this, like as an example, I have a gentleman. We're probably going to be teaming up to do some stuff. He's an Olympic athlete, USA track and field, and he did one session. He had an issue with his hip. And the first time he did a session with me, he got up and he says, "Man, I know this is the real deal. I don't have any pain in my hip." And that was after one session.
Wow.
And like I just mentioned to you earlier, I don't like to influence people with that placebo. Hey, I'm talking to you about this and that. I want to get feedback.
Yeah, because like you said, right when I stopped you, I said that's when I felt it.
Right.
So I'm very sensitive to how my body feels, because I don't regularly drink caffeine. I don't regularly drink energy drinks.
So you just finished, by the way.
Oh, great.
So see, that was quick.
That was really quick. So there it is. That's how long it took for this to happen. I just got to just recline back in the chair, and I didn't feel any tingling sensations in my body, even though some people may feel it if they're super sensitive to those kind of things. But I just felt like I was just laying back in a chair. But at the point of the video where I did stop Angelo, I noticeably felt myself perk up. My energy level went up a bit, and it was definitely noticeable. Like right now, I'm probably at about a 90, 95 on the alert, because again, I had about 3 hours of sleep last night, and I drove 3.5 hours to Dallas. So I was really tired coming in here. So I like this. So,
and the ideal, like for instance, if you purchase one of these, myself personally, and this is what's recommended, I use it in the morning, and there is a morning setting, and then I will use it in the evenings, and there's a nighttime setting. You can also, this pad here, or mat, it's made where you can sleep on it, and it has a setting
for sleep.
Come on through the night. Yes. Because that is one of the most beneficial
recovery times.
Yes, for healing, that restorative sleep. Okay. Yeah. Now we're going to move to the ozone.
All right, so we're gonna move over to the next part of the session. I will have a second part of the video, because I want to come back on it to talk about how I feel later. So you're saying that these effects will last about 12 plus hours? 12
to 14 hours for both.
Got it. So before I go to bed tonight, I should be able to have I should notice the drop, or going back to normal rather.
I don't think you're going to necessarily notice anything, but you're going to rest better.
I'm going to rest better.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That was neat. All right. So the second part, we're going to do the O3zone, or the Ozone therapy session. So what is the I guess the high level or the overview of what's going to be happening here?
Okay. So just to explain it a little bit, ozone, O3 molecule, same thing that protects the Earth's atmosphere, that ozone layer, right? You hear about that. A lot of people mistakenly think that is toxic. It is not toxic. What happens is that ozone, when we have high pollution days, that ozone is actually attacking the pollution and protecting us from it. So when you have high ozone, it's because you have a lot of pollution. Okay, this basically does the same thing with the body.
Okay, I know generally speaking, they always talk about the ozone layer being depleted because of pollution and so forth, because we keep polluting the earth and etc. And the ozone layer is, I guess, protecting us from the harmful rays of the sun and cosmic energy. So I guess the question is, if you're able to, is this ozone that we're pulling from the planet, or are we making this ozone? Is it manufactured? Because I got questions if whatever the answer is.
So In this particular setup, we are making the ozone.
You are making the ozone. So ozone is possible to be made.
Yes.
So why can't we just make ozone and just fix the ozone layer? I know I'm asking a stupid question, but people watching the video may want to.
Well, you're starting to get into a lot of stuff that the government doesn't like us talking about. So.
No worries, no worries. All right. So this is the machine that's actually making the ozone down here?
No, we do a mixture of oxygen. So this is an oxygen generator.
Okay.
And then that is the ozone generator.
That's the ozone generator.
This still has the same original design patented by Nikola Tesla.
Oh.
One of my favorite people in history.
Yes, Tesla.
Okay,
awesome.
He's the reason why we have wireless technology, AC/DC current. That is his original design, and we're still using it.
Excellent. So we're using a design by Tesla here.
Yeah.
And so what is happening in this pod here?
Okay, so what happens is that we turn on, this heats up. It is a
sauna.
This is a portable sauna. This is used in a lot of different applications.
Yeah,
okay?
and I'm a member of Glow Sun, so I've done saunas a lot. So I usually crank it up to, I think, 48 degrees is usually the high I go to.
This is, the temperature here will go up to, it'll actually go up to about 129.
Oh, so 48 degrees Celsius, so I don't know if that is Fahrenheit.
Yeah, are you Canadian?
No, but I have been to the Arctic Circle. I've been in negative 20 degrees.
Okay, so this will go up to 129.
Okay.
And
I've lived in Kuwait. It gets up to 150.
Okay. So on average, the average person, we keep them between 106 and 110. Now, a lot of my fighters, they love it really hot. They'll go above 110. They love it for cutting weight. It burns anywhere from, 3 to 600 calories conservatively.
Yeah.
So anyways, we pump in that mixture of oxygen and ozone. It comes in here. It mixes with the steam. We put water in here, just regular, we use distilled water, and it mixes with that steam. What's going to happen, you'll get in, your body's going to heat up, your pores will open up, that ozone, you absorb that.
Absorb it.
When it gets into the bloodstream, that O3 molecule breaks down into pure O2.
Okay.
So your body is oxygen rich.
Wow.
And that is beneficial for fighting all kinds of things. I've talked about the athletes, but what I haven't talked about is that there are clients that are in treatment for cancer that I have, and older clients. They do their research and they come and find me because they know the benefits.
Okay.
They know how much it helps them while they're actually in treatment, whether it's chemo or other. They've been able to keep their hair. They've been able to have the energy to go and do, whereas when they've been in fighting it in the past and they didn't have ozone.
I mean, because obviously the body needs oxygen, and then when you're fighting something, you're already weakened. So by, I guess, doing a high dose of oxygen in your body, it's actually kind of purifying your body in a sense.
And just to go over just briefly, ozone, it actually scientifically proven kills all viruses and bacteria. It is anti-inflammatory. One of the biggest things is it detoxes. Okay, so it's going to help your lymphatic system detox, okay, gets those toxins out. And you will see on your towel, there may be streaks on your towel. Some people will get embarrassed about that, but that's what you want to see, because that's toxins coming out of your body through the whatsoever contacting that white towel. Okay, and it's coming out through your feet. So all of this is happening, and it's all beneficial. Okay? It helps with your range of motion. So all of these different things you're benefiting from. And again, what we did on the Bemer, that's going to enhance what this does.
Got it.
Okay.
Excellent. All right.
Okay.
Yeah, I did 113 in Death Valley. I did 3.5 hours in the sauna suit in Death Valley.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, videos on my channel.
Have you ever done a sweat lodge?
No, I haven't done a sweat lodge yet, but I am going to Dubai as soon as international travel opens up. I'm going to do a Dubai Desert Sauna Suit Challenge. So the goal is to go till I can't go any longer. That's awesome.
Okay, so turn the fan on.
Okay. So I'm getting oxygen and O2, or oxygen and ozone pumped into here. And as you said, my pores open up due to the heat and the I guess humidity and heat.
Yes.
The pores open up, therefore I'm able to absorb it.
Yeah, it's gonna. Yeah, once those pores open, you start absorbing, because you know our skin is the biggest organ, and whatever's on your skin is gonna. And that's the other thing too. We've gotten a lot of feedback from ladies. They love the way it makes their skin feel. I've got testimonials from, matter of fact, one of my clients that was in treatment for cancer. She had a skin condition. It was a rash that they could not. She had it for several years. They couldn't figure out what it was. They did a biopsy, couldn't get rid of it. She came in when she first found out about me. She wanted to get sessions before a surgery. So she did 4 sessions in a row with me, and that rash was gone.
Wow.
So she wrote a testimonial. It's on our Facebook page. I'm getting new clients now all the time because they're being recommended for eczema and body acne. So we've kind of taken a new direction. You know?
Wow.
Yeah.
Huh. And then what about, I mean, obviously the next thing people are going to, can you do this for your face? Because my head's out of this. I know it's for the body, but obviously if it's good for the skin, is there an application or a device being developed where it can just...
Well, there's ozone oils or creams. Like, for instance, I have one at home that I use. It's a mixture of ozone and then olive oil.
Okay.
And you can use those treatments in your ears, nose, skin. I got a little boo-boo here that I've been putting it on, and it heals very fast.
Okay.
Very fast.
And then how many sessions of this would most people would you usually recommend? Like, is this something that's like the Bemer where you would say twice a week for the Bemer? Is it like twice a week for this, once a week for this?
So technically with the Bemer, you can do it every day, twice a day.
So Bemer can be done every day,
twice a day.
But for most average people, you would recommend probably twice a week to kind of...
Yeah, if they're buying a package from us, then generally that's what fits their schedule, and then they come in. This you can only do twice a week.
Okay, so this is twice a week.
Maybe you push it into 3, but it'll start to irritate your cell membranes because it will do that if you're doing it too much.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can't overdo it. Just like you cannot breathe ozone in directly, it will irritate your lung membranes.
Yeah.
Okay, so you don't want to do that. But there's never been any death from ozone or anything like that. The usage, and like I say, the medical use of ozone has been around for over 130 years. It's common in a lot of parts of the world. Okay, so. We're just trying to introduce this. It's here. They're medical doctors. As a matter of fact, I'm going to a conference. It's actually for medical doctors, but I'm going to be able to get in and allowed to get in. And Dr. Schallenberger, he's renowned for his use of ozone in the medical field.
Okay.
And so he certifies other doctors in the use of it.
Okay. So what am I going to feel when I get out of this pod? Or what would I start noticing while I'm in the pod? I mean, obviously it's a sauna pod, so I'm going to feel sweaty and hot.
Right.
But what are some of the things, benefits that I will feel and be noticed?
Again, it depends on the individual. For me, as an example, I do this after my workouts because it's so relaxing to me.
So that's what I do with my saunas. Like I go there because it actually relaxes my muscles. So I yet to wake up sore or sore or achy in the mornings for my workouts. Because I work out 6 days a week. But I attribute a lot of that to the sauna. And I go spend about 30 minutes in the sauna pod. So.
And that's, like I say, for me, it relaxes me. So I do it after everything. But there are guys, a lot of guys, like the fighter that I mentioned earlier, he liked to do it before because he felt like it gave him more endurance, a little bit more pep. And so it just depends on the individual and what their preference is.
Okay. Well, and then this is 20 minutes.
20 minutes, right?
Okay. All right. So I'm in here for 20 minutes. I mean, I've done saunas for a while, so I mean, I can see the average person, if they've never done a sauna, I mean, obviously you're doing like 110, I think you mentioned.
Actually, because a lot of times people's internal temperature has to adjust, so they get real antsy towards the end of that 20 minutes. So I'll start with them on about 106.
Yeah.
And then as they get used to it, they'll tell me when they want to push it up. So that's what I go by.
So yeah, I mean, I think the average person, if you've never done a sauna pod, definitely take the recommendations of someone like Angelo to tell you what temperature to start at. Don't think that I can handle it, because I've been doing this for about a year now, doing saunas, and I did the Death Valley Challenge in 3.5 hours in a sauna suit. I'm used to doing sauna suits. I'm used to doing sauna pods. So like right now, this is kind of like.
And let me emphasize. I'm sorry. You want to make sure you're hydrated before and after, because I've had on 2 instances, and they knew better, but they didn't hydrate properly, and they felt a little faint.
Yeah.
It's only happened twice, but...
Yeah, I noticed you have the water here, and I have to have ice chest in the car. So.
Yeah, it will dehydrate. It does dehydrate.
Yeah, I mean,
so,
you're losing water right now.
Right, right.
So all right. And then the calorie burn is, you mentioned 300 to 600 calories. A lot of people get skeptical on that because they're like, well, you're also shedding water weight, but the process of shedding water weight burns calories. Anytime your body does any kind of activity, it's expelling energy.
Right. Yeah. And this is considered comparable to a workout. The other thing, what was I going to mention? you will tend to feel your heart rate increase. Okay, so it's all it feels like you've been working out. So that's some of the things you'll experience too. So.
Okay.
All right.
And then trying to think of any other questions I had about this.
And by the way, they use it. If you buy a gallon jug at the store, Walmart, wherever, generally it's going to say ozonated for purity. So they use ozone in all our water supplies to kill all the bad stuff, and that's what it's doing in the body. For instance, if it's your cells, a damaged cell, that membrane, ozone will go after it, it'll attack it, and, kill it. Whereas your healthy cell, it's going to leave it alone, leave it attack, and it's going to actually benefit.
Okay. Yeah. So I still want to know if we could take these ozone machines and fix the whole ozone layer.
Well, nature produces ozone through waterfalls, rainstorms.
Yeah.
There's other things too. So that's how it's produced in nature. That rain fresh smell after a storm, that's ozone.
Okay.
Yeah. Matter of fact, Native Americans, they would fish after a rainstorm at times because those oxygen levels were up. They were up in the fish, everything. So.
Wow. Okay. So tell me a little bit about your story of how you came across this technology, the science. What in your life journey brought you here?
Wow.
So I didn't mean to go too deep on that, but give me a little. People watch this video and obviously I'm stuck in the spot for a while. I really want to know what brought you here, because everybody has a journey, right?
Yeah.
And that journey takes different twists and turns. Life sometimes doesn't go as you plan. Everybody's got their own story where they had their dreams, had these plans, and then left turn out of left field. Things happen, life happens.
That's kind of the way this was. I actually have an apparel company, and that opened a lot of doors for me. The apparel company, I worked with athletes anyway, sponsorship, stuff like that. But a very good friend of mine, he lives back in Nebraska now, which is where he was from. He was a former Green Beret, and he's a black belt Aikido instructor. And this was introduced to his wellness center where he gets massage therapy and all that.
In Nebraska?
In Nebraska.
Okay.
He did one session and he called me up because he has bad knees, jumping out of planes and all that. He did one session and he's like, Angela, you got to try this. I've had over 17 sports-related surgeries. I've had 3 Achilles surgeries, both my wrists reconstructed, biceps tendon, playing football, different things, just life. I've done bull riding, stuff like that. So he said, you got to try this. He goes, the gentleman that introduced this to me is in Houston, and he goes, you need to go down there and try it out. So I called the guy up, and based on what he was telling me on the phone, I got it right away, and I was like, I want to do this for a business too. And so another good friend of mine, he's former collegiate athlete, played college football, was in the pros for a short stint, big offensive lineman, had a bad knee. He went down to Houston because that's where he's from and was doing business. I said, you got to stop in and see this guy. He's very skeptical, okay? Especially being in the medical industry. He got in, tried it, told me the exact same thing. Increased his range of motion in his knee, maybe by at least 30%. Just felt great on it. So I just got set up, and the gentleman that helped me, get this set up this down there, he jumped me ahead on the knowledge aspect of it, right? And we got set up right away, like it was February 2017 is when we opened our doors. And we were actually here before it was actually hidden gem. So, and we've been rocking and rolling ever since. I kind of started more as a part-time deal, but it's just been getting more and more attention as far as word of mouth. So, yeah.
Now, during telling me about your journey, there was a couple things you mentioned. I was like, I got to come back to it, so I'm going to come back to it. You mentioned football, but in the same couple of sentences, you said bull rider.
So I love trying some everything. I've served. Football is my passion, and I was still even playing semi-pro because I'm an old man now. So I was was playing semi-pro.
Do you mind sharing your age with everybody? All right, so I met this guy, Cars and Crawfish, which is on the YouTube channel.
I shouldn't have gone there. I shouldn't have gone there.
You don't have to. You give us a range if you like. But when I met this guy, he was telling me about these therapies and the science behind it. And I told him, hey, I'm just about happen to be in Dallas in a week. As we were talking, I said, he just said, I don't know. Did you say how old do you think I am, or did I just, or was I? I think I mentioned I was 44. And then I'm looking at this guy thinking, obviously, I'm older than this guy. No.
Let's just say I'm older.
He is older than me, and he looks phenomenal, looks great. So everything that you're doing all the right things that I need to be doing.
This is, I don't miss a day with this stuff because it keeps me going. I'm the face, not only with the apparel and then I'm the face of this business, and you're working with high-level athletes that need to be able to trust you.
Yeah.
So I work out every day, I stay in shape, and this is part of my regimen. Yeah.
So, again, something I was getting at before I got on the segment there, the bullfighting. Tell me about the bullfighting. Did you actually bullfight in bull riding?
Bull riding, yeah.
Bull riding. So did you actually enter a rodeo?
No, because let me say this. We did it for fun. We would go.
Like a mechanical thing or a live bull?
There were guys that were actually on the circuit in Texas that wanted me to start riding with them because they felt like I had natural talent.
Based on?
My wife at the time said that she goes, I'm not going to support any more injuries because of all the injuries I had from sports and everything else. But it's something I loved and I did it when I could, and it's just another passion.
Wow! So you actually just got on a real live bull.
Yeah.
And so what's it? Is it 8 seconds?
8 seconds.
8 seconds. So what was the? Obviously, how did you make your 8 seconds more often than not? I don't know much about the sport, but I know a little bit.
I say 50-50.
50-50.
Yeah,
so half the
50-50.
time you made it, half the time you did.
Yeah.
So what is the? Give me some of the names of the bulls you remember.
Oh no, they're not any major. Like you got PBR now and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
So like I said, it was more of a hobby.
Just a hobby.
Yeah.
Okay. So about half the time you get bucked off, half the time you get to stay on. What is it? Explain to someone the first time you rode a bull. Like what was that sensation feeling like?
It was like this huge. It was a rush, but you become extremely focused. When you get down on that bull's back, you're settling in. You're getting
that is your world right now.
Yeah. you are extremely focused,
yes.
And I think that's the most focused I've ever been in my life.
Yeah.
Right. And then you're trained. You keep that chin tucked, and you're looking straight down. Wherever you look, that's where you're going to go.
Oh. Okay.
So if you're not lined up with that bull and you're looking over here, that's where you're going to get thrown, right? So again, you're getting ready in the chutes, and it depends. Like I had one of the bulls. They picked for me. He was supposed to be a pretty good bull, but he acted up in the chute, and
so before you
trapped my leg. Yeah, he trapped my leg, and I had a very serious groin pull that for years I kind of suffered with. But that's just one of the most dangerous sports in the world. So
yeah.
But it was
so
something.
You mentioned it casually, and then you kept on trucking with your story. And I'm like, oh no! I'm going to come back to this. I want to hear more about this bull riding.
No, it was a wonderful experience.
So when was the last time you were on a bull?
Oh man, it's been years.
Years.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's probably back.
So a man that's lived many lifetimes.
Yeah.
So you mentioned you served.
Yeah.
Well, what branch?
What branch?
Well, like the Army.
Surf. Like surfing.
Surf.
Yeah.
Surfing. My apologies. Again, I heard it differently. So you actually was a surfer as well, or you did it as a hobby?
Just a passion.
Just a passion.
Yeah.
So man, this is a man of many passions.
Motocross.
Motocross. Okay. No wonder he's had so many injuries. What has been your worst injury, and what sport was it? And I'm itching on my nose, so I don't know how I can. Like on actually between my eyes, right here. Right there.
Okay.
I don't know where I've been. All right. Good now. So worst injury.
Wow. Let me see. I don't know if this isn't an injury, but I had a triple bypass. Yes.
Oh.
So that was my worst. I had a lot of. It is funny because it didn't really sink in. It was like another sports-related surgery to me. Because my Achilles before that, my Achilles were probably the worst. The first time I did it, I ruptured it at a football combine. Okay, but my heart surgery, I was in the gym working out, been working out over an hour, and what I was told is that I was having a massive heart attack. And I thought I pulled a muscle in my chest and shoulder. So that it's just a tweak. I'm going to work through it, but I started getting more and more, I guess, fatigued. So I had to go, to the locker room and quit. And at the time, I talked to my wife, and it was like, I think if I didn't know any better, I think I was having a heart attack. We were CPR instructors at the time.
Okay, so that definitely helped you having that knowledge and knowing the science. Yeah.
And she's like, well, I was literally right down the street from the hospital. She's like, I think you're having a heart attack. You need to go to the hospital. I said, I think I'm just going to come home and lay down. I'm just tired, And so I stopped to pay a payment to one of my manufacturers for the overseas apparel stuff. And by the time I finished there, I could barely stand up. The pain was so bad. So I had to call her to come get me. She took me down the street to the emergency room. And I walked in, I said, I think I'm having a heart attack. So they said, they got me in right away. They had the new protocols. And they still really couldn't tell from my vitals. And they were doing all these tests and checks, and then they finally got me in for a catheterization. But once they saw certain things, they got me in for a catheterization. The doctor came out and said that I needed to be in emergency surgery. And I had 3 clogged arteries.
Wow.
Now, it probably maybe have been a year before that I did a nuclear stress test. And the nurse literally said that, she was doing ultrasound on that, I had a beautiful heart, everything looked great. So within that time frame, all of this had changed. That was 2017, I guess, and then
I had to watch you for a second.
Sure.
But the 2 spots in particular is super hot.
Is that at the very back?
At the very bottom, like back bottom, yeah, it's like those 2 spots in particular are super hot.
Pull the towel back just a little bit, if you can.
Yeah.
And that should block it.
Okay.
Because your steam vents.
That's probably what it is.
And you're so low because of your height.
Yeah.
So that's it, putting you closer to it.
All right. Sorry to interrupt the story.
No, so 2017 I had the triple bypass. 2015 I had another heart attack. They said it was based on an occlusion.
Oh, it's too hot.
Okay.
The front, underneath my thigh.
Okay.
I just put the towel again.
Yeah, pull it forward.
So,
pull it forward.
Yeah, I felt the steam there. So.
Okay.
How much more time we got?
We've got. You sure you want to
No,
do that?
the heat's fine. It's just when they're blowing right on my skin, it's like,
You actually have 2 minutes.
Okay, almost done. So, all right, so you had more to, so you had to do a triple bypass.
Had another heart attack in 2015 and then
Wow.
one in 2017.
Wow.
Where they put in a stent. So finally, that particular cardiologist, he said, look, you're in great shape. Because I was still doing all this stuff. Great shape, you eat right. We need to figure out what's going on. So he did a specialized test called a advanced lipid test.
Okay.
And that showed that I had an inherited condition that I inherited from my mom. Didn't know she had the same thing. She had already been tested for it, but I didn't know about it. And it causes my body to produce a lot of the bad cholesterol.
Even though you was healthy, eating right, they couldn't figure out where it's coming from, but it was genetic.
So the tweak I had to make was my diet. He said, you're not going to like this, but you need to stay away from a lot of animal fats. And so, bodybuilding, working out, you're eating a lot of meat, protein, right? So that's what I had to change. So I'm a predominantly vegetable-based diet for the most part during the week. I'll cheat on the weekend. But that was a change I had to make. And then now, one of the other things that we offer here is we do DNA supplementation.
Because obviously tailoring treatments and things to your...
Yes.
Yeah, I think my butt's reached.
Okay, we'll finish it up. You actually finished, though.
Oh, good.
Cool.
All right. So, definitely the sauna part's very effective because I'm sweating up a storm in here. The vent, obviously the towel shifting as I was shifting, the vents kind of, being on those particular hot spots. But no, it feels like a good sauna experience. I don't know how to judge because I'm so focused on your story. So, yeah, let me get out of here and let me see how I feel then. So
you can drop with this. I'll just set it here.
And then just hit the red button on top of the GoPro one time. There we go. All right, I just got out the pod, the O3zone pod. It's definitely a great sauna pod for sure. I don't know because I think I'm still feeling the benefits of the Bemer, so I don't know yet the distinguish what the Ozone has done for me. But throughout the day, I'll just pick some mental notes of how I'm feeling. But how long will these effects last, between these 2 therapy sessions?
Generally, like for instance, if you just did it one time, it's going to be 12 to 14 hours.
12 to 14 hours.
Yeah.
All right, so I should have a great day today. Got a lot of other activities happening in Dallas. So you was telling me about having like an issue in your family genetics, where you had, you was having high cholesterol, and you did some testing, and you was able to find something that you didn't know that you had, even though you were working out, eating right, doing all the right things.
Right.
But then you found out that there was a lipid issue. Right. Now, I've actually heard about this through other people talking about doing the DNA testing and tailoring therapies and treatments to, like, obviously your blood type, your DNA, and etc. So I think this is actually going to be taken off more, because people are already used to getting their DNA test done, kind of trace their family roots. But now using DNA to actually find a tailored or custom, whether it's a nutrition plan or things that are tailored to you as an individual, I think it's going to start to take off. So what do you have here?
So, like, the DNA supplementation is what this is. It's custom supplements, all right, specifically built for you. This is the future. It's where we're headed. So we call, when you buy stuff off the shelf that everybody else buys, we call that blind nutrition. It may work.
It's like a one size fits all.
Exactly. And it may work fantastic for you, but not as good for me. With this, you avoid that, because by doing a DNA swab, you're going to swab. This is called Euphoria. Okay. Right? Euphoria Science. We've teamed up with this company. It is the only company in the world that's doing this. It's proprietary again. So there's a lot of companies that say they're doing DNA nutrition, but this is the pinnacle. Okay. So basically, you're going to do a DNA swab. It's sent into the lab. Excuse me. And what happens is that they send you back a 35-page report on you and your body. So this is your report. I got it laminated, but this is what everyone would get, and it tells you specifically what's going on with your body. So it's based on these 18 different what are called genes or SNPs. Okay, and this is mine. See, it has my name customized for me. And basically, what these are man, got something in my throat. There are 18 of the most common issues that the general public has a problem with, like whether it's high blood pressure, heart disease, diabetes, right? It covers these. And this is the only company that's doing 18 different SNPs, because it's such an expensive process. All right, so what this tells you, like for instance, if this is green, that means I didn't inherit a variant from my parents, either one of my parents. If it's yellow, that means I inherited a variant of that gene from one of my parents.
And if it's red, both.
It's red, both. Right.
Got it.
It doesn't tell you which on the one, but
it gets you kind of
right.
closer.
Now, in my particular instance, if I'd had this back in 2014 with my initial heart attack, it would identify the problem. And so what they did is they built my supplement, right? Let me find that particular section. So this is dealing with the heart, right? And within my formula, and this is one formula, you can get it in a powder or either capsules. Okay. They don't tell you to go out, you need to go buy this, 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 and this. They combine it all in one, and that's what's proprietary as well. So it's telling me I need all these B vitamins, Dong Quai, zinc, you name it. Okay. And it's specialized. The other thing, what makes this so fantastic is everything in it is natural, but it's also peer reviewed. So all these are peer reviewed articles on what's in my supplement. And that's the wellness. So they have the wellness, and we recommend this to our athletes and clients.
Some of the things I notice on here, because I take a lot of supplements myself, so I do. I have these Zip Fizzes that gives me extreme amounts of B12. So I see they got B12 on here. Yes. I see CoQ10. Yes. I take that daily. So all right, already seen.
And it's going to tell you. It's to the micro dosage. So that's the medical dosage of what your body's telling them that it needs. Okay.
That's pretty good.
This is a general wellness program. Then we have a weight management for people that are hard losers or hard gainers, right? Then we have, this is a Scorching Fitness. So this actually tells you, based on your DNA, what are the most effective exercises that you should be doing.
Yeah, because everybody's got a different type of body, blood types. There's a lot of things that kind of factor in that.
And just for me as an example, lifting weights, that's part of it, but also HIIT training is more effective for me. Basically what this told me is what I learned with my personal trainer for the Combine years ago. So it's right on the money. And then they have a skin care. So all of these, again, they're
comes from running a DNA
test, right.
with this. How long? So what is the time frame when someone submits their DNA to getting these reports? How long does it take?
About 10 days.
So it takes
about 10 days.
10 days, and you got results back, and you're able to start making adjustments.
Yeah, and while within that 10 days, when you get your lab report, you start taking the it's called a pre-trition. It's basically like a detox.
This right here.
No, this one here.
Oh,
this is actually a line for doctors.
Oh, okay.
They have, but this one is for the general public.
Okay.
And so you have what's called pre-trition. You'll be taking that before your actual supplement comes in. It's preparing your body for that particular supplement.
Okay, kind of like getting you some better, getting you a baseline of health. Okay,
yeah.
Got it.
So, and that's simply put, people want more information, they can always contact me through you or whatever.
Okay, yeah, we'll have your links in the description below. So when did you get your report, and how long have you been following your plans?
I've been on it a year. The company, so basically this is from Liqueur Nutraceuticals. They're a company, they put together products for a lot of different companies, but this is basically his baby. He's a local billionaire. He lives in North Texas, and this is something that was his passion. He bought this company, and the science has always been sound, but he just simply put made it a better business plan, so it's affordable for the average person, because it's a very expensive science.
Got it.
So
that brings a good question that people want to know. What do these things run to do a test?
So this,
I mean, obviously the supplements and to continue to get them would be probably a price point.
Right.
Yeah, but
the test itself is $299, and that includes your 35-page lab report.
Got it.
Okay, and then if you get on the subscription of what they're telling you your body needs, that ends up being about $159 a month, and that's for they want you to stay on it for 120 days, because that's where you're going to see your benefits. A lot of people, I don't feel anything. It's been 1 month, and they get off of it.
Yeah.
So if you stay on 120 days, it's like 159, and then it'll drop down after that 120 days to 99.
I can say that, like, even with my own children, when they've did medications and treatment plans in the past, that almost every doctor will tell you have to be on it more than a couple months. Even at 1 month, it's just if they make adjustments, it's usually in dosage amounts.
Right.
So yeah, anything takes time. The body doesn't just overnight things. So.
Right. You don't ruin it overnight, and it's going to take a while for it to heal itself. And generally that's about the time frame is 120 days. And it can be very subtle for a lot of people, because unless you just have really acute issues. So that's basically the way it is. And then the other thing is the way it works. If you recommend anyone for it, it's automatically 25% off. So,
So there it is. All right, so this has been my 2 sessions here at O3zone here in the North Dallas area. I did the Bemer chair, and I did the pod here, the Ozone pod, and I do feel a lot of energy, but like I said, the Bemer was first, is where I noticed the uptick in energy. Throughout the day, I'll just make some mental notes, and I'll try to do an Instagram post of how I felt 10, 12 hours from now. So again, just to recap for everybody that's got to this point of the video, who is the audience? Who is the person that this is for?
I have a broad range of clients. So I work with the elite athlete, pro athletes at the top of their game. I work with weekend warriors. I work with the general public that just want a better overall health. We work with everyone, and this is going to be beneficial on all those levels, because it increases your wellness, it increases your fitness, just your performance overall.
Got it. And so, I mean, whether you're a Call of Duty soldier sitting on the couch, you can use some restorative health benefits, or if you're an Instagram model, or if you're an athlete at any level, or if you're just someone that's been living with pain. When I had my tendonitis, for those who followed my social media, I lived with that pain for at least 2.5 months, trying to struggle through it. You don't have to live with pain. So, look into these different alternative therapies and treatments, because they work. Again, the NewFit machine was the magic bullet that got me over my tendonitis. This seems to be right there on the same wavelength of it. So again, I'll have to do a little bit deep into the technology and the science behind both, but I know that worked for me. I'm going to definitely know how the Bemer is going to affect my elbow a little bit later today. But we'll have all the links for social media and the website in the description below. Thank you so much for having me
Thank
out
you.
here. It's
It was
been
a pleasure.
And
Yeah,
everything happens for a reason. When I mentioned carbs and
Exactly.
crawfish, it was for a reason. And I do want to talk to you again, maybe in the future, even if it's just a Zoom call, because you're a man that has lived 100 lifetimes, and I want to explore more of that story because
All right.
that's very interesting. You know,
Okay.
coming here for this was already interesting enough, but as you was talking, you just glossed over so many deep stories, like the bull riding.
I have a passion
We
for
haven't
life.
talked about the surfing yet.
Passion for life.
But I want to definitely have a Zoom call with this guy in the future, because again, when I come across someone who's lived 1,000 lifetimes, because I've lived 1,000 lifetimes too, so you're a fellow Time
All right,
Lord.
all right.
And if you know the reference,
Yes,
Doctor
definitely.
Who. So
Yeah,
as a
Doctor
fellow
Who.
Time Lord,
Yeah.
I want to definitely hear some more of your
I love
past.
it. I
So
love
thank
it.
you for having me out
Hey.
today. And everyone with that, that's been Formerly Me.